Didn't we say a couple of minutes, everybody? We, of course, meant 6 minutes. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are now live on Steam. Hello, everybody who is watching us on Steam, and hello, everybody who is on Twitch and YouTube as well. Welcome to part 2 of tonight's March Madness stream. Thank you very much to MegaSim for that last hour. Wonderful as ever. Hello, Matt. How's it going tonight?
Oh, it's good. It's good. Now we fixed that little quirk. Otherwise than that, I'm ready for a bit of Harlem fun.
Lovely. Okay, so Harlem Line launched today. So it should be live on all platforms now. If you are interested, then head to your platform of choice and go and grab it. Of course, you are more than welcome to come and play it with us tonight. Come and join it with us. Go do some of the things that we're doing. Or you can watch, and then if you like what you see, you can invest time and maybe a little bit of money into it as well. March Madness is live, of course. There is loads and loads of stuff on sale on Steam. If you've been waiting up or saving up for a particular add-on, chances are it's on sale, so go and have a look. Tonight we'll be doing a couple of bits that we weren't able to do last week in the preview. If you haven't checked out the preview, really recommend you do, because we do pretty much cover most of the route in sort of the day-to-day, how you'll be using the route. So tonight we're going to be doing a couple of new things that we weren't able to show last time round, including we'll be doing a night run, or we'll be doing, at least showing you what it's like in the night. We'll be showing the Yankee branch of the route, and whatever else you want us to show tonight. We're kind of here at your behest, so you can do whatever you like. You can ask us what you like, and we will do our best to answer it. So Matt, do you want to take us on a little adventure?
Yes, I shall do so with cameras off. Yes,
let's take us off.
No, I literally just changed this scene so that it would work, and it was secretly and quietly in the background, and I've been foiled.
As you can see, though, we are on Steam for tonight's session.
Let me just add that again. Right, here we go. And put that in there. Right.
You can tell it's been a busy day here, or busy couple of days at Dovetail HQ. We've not necessarily had the opportunity to do as much preparation as we would normally do for a stream like this.
No, it's been sort of chaos, but good chaos, well, ish. Right, Harlem. So, completely lost my train of thought. Let's have a quick overview of what you get in Harlem Line first, and then we'll get into the route. So there is the journey, big apple a day, and lots of seriously bad puns on the titles. Lots of stuff to do in the journey that'll keep you busy. We are going to do train 616 southeast to GCT as one of the things we do today. And in fact, no, we'll start with train 766 actually, so we can see Yankee Stadium. Driving into GCT, it's only a little one, and then we'll do something else in the night. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't often do journey mode, do we, in a stream like this? But it's nice to be able to show sort of some of the journey mode content, because we don't ever get a chance to do it, and it is really interesting. Kind of helps you like learn the route and helps you kind of get acclimatized to it before you perhaps go into something like timetable mode.
Yeah, absolutely. So under training, then you've got the route introduction, you've got the M3A tutorial, the M7A tutorial. So those are the tutorials for driving the train. Some good tips in there. Under scenarios, you've got a nice selection of 5 scenarios in there, which should keep you on your toes. Some nice challenges there at different times of day, different seasons, and going in different parts of the route. Stuff that's perhaps not you wouldn't normally do in sort of service mode as well, so they stand up on their own quite nicely. And then in the timetable you have so what this represents is about 99%, so virtually all of the Hudson and Harlem services on the line. And the use of the M3 and the M7 is based on how they are in reality, so it's not just a straight substitution. You'll see the M3's got 49 services and the M7's got 214, and that's about what they have in reality. So they've been assigned to the trains that you would see them on in reality. So that's a nice little touch from the timetable author. And then if I go into the M7, so you can just have a look at sort of things you'll be doing. Nice mix of stuff, to be honest, whether it's Croton Harmon to GCT, which I think is a Hudson and then you've got North White Plains GCT. So you see that this one is an hour and 5 minutes. So you're looking at, for a stopping service run up and down the line, which is what the North White Plains services will be. You're looking at about an hour and 5, hour and 10, something like that. For an express train, which you're looking at here with these ones that say they're going to and from southeast, you're looking more like the. So this one's 42 minutes. So it depends on what traffic you're getting there. This one's clearly got a bit of traffic going on, whereas most of them, I think, are around the 40-minute mark for the express runs. There's all sorts of other things in there, but essentially, if it's a North White Plains service, it's a stopping service. If it's a southeast service, it's an express service. What that means is no stops between North White Plains and GCT, Grand Central Terminal. So no stops at all, basically, until you get to the other end. So it's a nice fast run. And then you've got so Crestwood, I think, is, remember rightly, is a yard, a little set of sidings. The ones that start at North White Plains quite often start in the depot, and then you pull into North White Plains station. Similarly, trains that end at North White Plains will often go into the depot and then come back in shortly afterwards. So you've got some yard moves here within Grand Central Terminal. So there's all sorts of things going on in the timetable. The M3 has a similar range of stuff going on as well, but they're different services. They're not using substitution or something like that.
Absolutely, and we've done a little bit of spring cleaning to the M38 and the M78 as well, haven't we, Matt? You'll probably be able to see that when we actually get them on the track. But these have all been refurbished and redone. So if you've seen what they're like on Long Island, they are a pretty different experience in terms of audio, in terms of physics.
So physics has been redone quite heavily, not just because to improve what was there previously in the Long Island versions, but also because the Metro North versions are actually slightly different. The gear, the ratios, gears, something like that, is tuned differently on the Metro North versions than they are on the Long Island versions. So we've captured that in the physics setup. Right, so we are at Yankee Stadium. Let me just get the train set up. Charge the brakes. Doors open. We'll go and have a wander around outside. We're at Yankee Stadium now.
Take me out to the ball game. So immediately you kind of get the vibe that you're in a metropolis here. You're able to kind of see the cityscape, and that'll obviously become more apparent as we get into the kind of the central metropolis of New York. But there's a lot of work that's been gone into replicating the feel of the city as well as the map.
Yeah, there has been trying to. It's always a challenge to replicate it in an efficient way as well. That is going to run on people's computers. So the team's worked hard to do what they can there. And you definitely get this feeling, particularly like around Harlem 125th, which I think we will be. We'll be going to Harlem 125th next. So particularly around that, where you're in the sort of what I certainly call the Grand Central Corridor, where you feel like you're in the midst of these skyscrapers, which is pretty. You look at a lot of photographs from around this area, and that is kind of the sense that you get, which is really nice.
Absolutely. So, shall we get started? Tim Tree asked, did we manage to get rush hour passengers into the release build? Yes. So Matt, you might want to just give a little bit of clarity on.
So rush hours were always in the release build. We dug into it to find out what was going on, and they were there. So at different times of day, you'll see different passenger flows. What we think, and it needs a bit more investigation, is that with the rush hour passengers, it's up to 200 passengers. That characters that are in the world. And what we think is that even at somewhere like Grand Central Terminal, the 200 characters are just disappearing elsewhere. I know when I looked at one of the services that I ran, there wasn't much going on the track around the track where I was, and when I pressed the 8 camera and flew around Grand Central Terminal, there was another train emptying, and there were thousands of passengers, probably 200, next to it. So it's quite possible the passengers are elsewhere. So there's clearly some room for optimisation to happen in the future to try and improve that. But it is definitely set up for rush hour. It's set up exactly the same as Boston Providence and the other rush hour routes are. So that's certainly there. You should see more passengers on here than you would have normally. So probably see a lot more than we would have previously.
Yeah, I would imagine that becomes more apparent with the slightly smaller stations. Would that be correct? So
yeah, I imagine that as you get further away from the big populated areas, the passengers will spread out and they'll work out quite nicely. But where you've got a massive station like Grand Central Terminal, 10 passengers on each platform, that's 200.
There is a few comments about your use of headlights and marker lights.
What headlights? Headlights? Hey. Headlights are for people that can't see. Yeah.
And you might have noticed as well, there is something slightly different about the scene that we've got in front of us. Obviously, there is the sprawling metropolis of New York City, but there is also some new clouds.
Probably not demonstrated well in this particular service, unfortunately. But we'll see the clouds in there, which was actually originally supplied to us from the community from London Midland. So, big thank you out to Josh.
Yeah, did a great job, and you can see those in quite a few routes now within Train Sim World 2. There is a full list on our website with the update notes that came out yesterday. God, this was a long time ago. Yesterday. Oh, Hentis says that they are live from Grand Central. So, hello Hentis. We might pop in and say hello.
Very good. Right, so here we are now. Actually, we're on sort of like this raised section, which is pretty, iconic for the area. Sort of up and down the lane. Again, just this feeling of being inside these buildings. It's just really cool in the concrete jungle.
A few people asking which river was that we went over just then. We're not gonna rise to that today. We're not gonna rise to that, everyone. It's our American geography is perhaps not the strongest in terms of our rivers, and particularly our New York rivers, as anyone might have found from last week.
My wife said it was the Harlem River, apparently, and I'm legally bound to agree with that. So.
Okay, yeah, that seems fair. I feel like we probably need a horn, Matt, just to kind of emphasise some of the audio changes that have happened. There we go.
Was the Ganges, was it, baby? Excellent.
Should we talk layers, Matt?
Yes, let's talk layers. So the core passenger services, all playable services, are not in layers. The core passenger services are all in the base layer with all the trains, so everyone gets it. And in fact, all of the other optional layers, which come, actually, strangely enough, they provide freight vehicles to fill up sidings and so forth. They come from the likes of Sandpatch Grade, they come from Sherman Hill, they come from Horseshoe Curve, something more to come, and they come from one of the other routes I can't remember. Peninsula Corridor, that's the one I'm trying to think of. I don't know why I keep P, and I just think of the wrong route all the time. So Peninsula Corridor, little two-bay hoppers that are used for ballast replacement trains. Yes, there's all sorts of interesting freight, and you'll find it populating sidings and so forth, just making the world feel a little bit more alive.
Yeah, absolutely. There are, I think, 260, did we say earlier, playable services?
263, I think it is.
263, cool.
It's about sort of 50 or so for the M3 and about 200 and something for the M7. Majority of the services are in the M7, because in reality the majority of the M services are on the M7A.
Nice.
A minute to go and then we can leave. The buzzers.
Mr. Cube asked, next week will we get updates from the preservation crew out before the Swiss route? We will have an update before the Swiss route. We're just finalising what's going to be part of that for next week, and we would love to get some preservation in there, but we can't confirm that just yet because the bills haven't been finalised.
Oh dear, 30 seconds. Let's get the doors closed. Right, and then from here on in, it's down into the main bit, and then we dive into Park Avenue tunnels.
Absolutely. DOGG asks, when is the console sale? I believe there is a console sale on PlayStation Live now, I think. Mega March. There's some stuff going on PlayStation. So if you're on PS, then head on over. Ladies and gentlemen, are there any achievements on this route, like Xbox achievements? Yep, there are Xbox achievements on this.
External noise. I like these old style traction motors. The M3 is an old train. Slow to accelerate compared to the modern F7 and the F7. That's even older.
Should we do when we get to Grand Central? Shall we do a little run round of the terminal, and then we'll go and do some night. Well, should we do? Do you want which order do you want to do it in, Matt? Do you want to do a night run, or do you want to do the journey?
Well, I'm going to do that service from the journey, but I'm going to do that service I'm going to try and get that service to work at night. I can't remember what time of day it is. We might have to do something else if I can't make it on work at night, because the goal is at night.
2 at a time, like it.
So one thing, I'm going to cover the signalling on and off as we go down as well. When you're driving without safety systems turned on, you'll see that they are still turned on. And that's because you need to follow what they're saying, even if you don't actually follow what they're saying. If you turn the safety systems on, it will put puts the teeth on, essentially, and if you get it wrong, it brings the train to a stop. Whereas with the safety systems off, they're kind of passive. Yeah, they'll guide you, but you can ignore them quite freely. And similarly, down in the bottom right on the HUD, you can see, like at the moment, it says access 60, which means I'm in a 60 mile per hour speed limit and I'm being controlled monitored by the access system. If there was bad signals in front of me, like non-green essentially, it would then ATC would take over and drop my speed. So I've actually been told to drop down to 45 miles an hour now, so I'm dropping down to that. Now, in reality, that would have caused the emergency brake. That would have caused an brake application to come on, because it's just popped back up to 60. So the way access works is it is checking your homework. You don't drive to access. It's not like LZB where you just follow what the thing says on the desk and you're all right. Access doesn't take away from the fact that as an engineer you still need to either use the HUD or you need to learn the line. And what the access's job is doing is seeing if you get it right or not. And if you get it wrong, just puts the brakes on, slows you down. So what I would say is that even if you're not turning the safety systems on, pay close attention to them, because it's caught a few people out on the forums, and to be fair, it's not actually mentioned in the main tutorial, which is a bit of a mistake. But the way this route works, the way the signalling works on this route, you can easily find yourself running up into the back of another train. Now, the signalling would slow you down and probably make that highly unlikely to actually happen. But if you're running without the safety systems fully armed, then obviously you can ignore the signalling and be carrying on at full line speed, and you won't ever see. Oh, there you go. ATC just kicked in with an L, limited speed, which means 45 miles per hour. Now, in reality, you'd have to acknowledge that and then maintain it. So you can see I could have just completely ignored that and carried on. And that's how you end up in the back of another train. Because this safety system on Metro North, there we go, we've got a medium aspect now, which is 30. So let's slow down for that. The safety system here can't stop the train, believe it or not. Only a red signal can stop the train, and there are very few red signals on this route. Probably get a restricting signal in the next little while. So it's
That's a really good
speedless.
explanation, Matt. Yeah, thank you. Because I think that you're right. That's kind of caught a few people out when they've been doing particularly some of the journey mode content as well. So yeah, bear that in mind.
Just keep an eye on that aspect. It's this gauge over here. You can see the as it's just dropped to the R. R means 15 miles an hour. It's 15, 30, and 45. It's what those speeds equate to.
And I don't think we touched on actually tunnels last week. The tunnels look great. Actually, the lighting in them looks fantastic.
Yeah, the team have looked at a lot of videos, and if it's you spend a lot of time in it as well. So.
It's true. Yeah, that is very true.
It also varies quite nicely because you've got the covered section as you come into Park Avenue tunnels. Then you go into the tight closed arches. Then you've got this bit which is a square tunnel, and then it comes out into the cavern of GCT shortly after this. So it's really interesting sort of mix of things as well.
A few people are commenting on the fact that we've cleaned up New York here. There's definitely a lot less trash or garbage on the floor.
Yeah,
than you would
we went
expect.
through and gave it a bit of a hoover before we presented it.
This is GTC on a very, 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 very good day. So whilst we're just rolling into Grand Central, a quick note on Creators Club, because we've had a few questions in the chat already, and we probably should have kicked the stream off with talking a little bit about it. It is still disabled for everybody at the moment. We are still investigating a fix in order to put that back online again, so that if you log in, then you don't lose your liveries. We are also working on a way to be able, for those who are affected and have seen any of their liveries being removed, to have them restored. We can't promise anything just yet, but we are working on that as soon as we can get Creators Club back live again. In fact, we're working on it in conjunction. Again, Matt, you might be able to give a little bit more of a technical explanation than I can.
So the whole team have been, or the whole of the QA team, and supported by some of the engineering team, have been working on the resolution. In fact, a lot of today has been spent in QA, going through all of the 7 platforms and testing the fix out to put it where it's supposed to be, which will then allow us to enable the Dovetail Live backend, the Creative Club's backend. So that's gone really well. It's not finished, unfortunately. We were hoping it was going to be finished today, by the end of the day, but it got held up by something. So that hopefully will be concluded tomorrow, all being well. And then I don't know what the rollout plan is for that, but it'll be as fast as we possibly can. And once that's out, then, as JD said, we are investigating options for recovery. Now, the form of recovery is likely to be whatever the version was, because even when a livery is deleted, it's just flagged as not available anymore. So, in theory, any of these things can just be downloaded again. So we're working on a way to allow creators to download liveries and put them back into Livery Editor. So nobody else will be able to put them into Livery Editor, but as the uploader of the file, you'll be able to download it back into your Livery Editor. That's what we're looking at. Not going to make any promises until we've got it working, but that's sort of like it feels like the right place to try and get data back. But it'll be restoring what's on the server. So, for example, if you uploaded a livery and then made some local modifications, what will come back would be what's on the server, because we don't have a copy of what you did locally.
Yeah. So I suppose condensed version of that is Creators Club improvement, or Creators Club back online, could happen either side of the weekend as at the moment. We're hoping this side of the weekend, but we're not 100% sure yet. And then the next stage will be after that. We don't have a timeline for this yet. Will be the process of kind of re-enabling access to deliveries that are currently not available. Okay, someone's asked about the anniversary stream. Yes, obviously with what happened yesterday, we thought it wasn't appropriate to do the anniversary stream. We have moved that to Sunday. So we've updated the Railfan TV schedule on the forums. where we were going to have a Creators Club stream, we have moved the anniversary stream onto that. So if you are around on Sunday, we would love to have you to celebrate 5 years of Train Sim World. Matt and Nat will be taking the reins and taking you through 5 years of development of Train Sim World.
Technically, we'll be covering probably 7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years.
Because we're going to go. Well, we've got some really cool stuff that I managed to save away a long, long time ago, dating back to about 2015. So I've got some videos of very early tech prototypes, so you can see kind of where it started.
Yeah. So if you're interested in the history of the game and also some perhaps thrills and spills along the way, it's a really, Matt and Nat have kind of gone through with me what they want to show, and it sounds really interesting and exciting for people who are that way inclined, and also are interested in sort of how the game that they play has kind of come to the point from very, very early days to what it is now. So it's really interesting if you're a developer or if you're interested in how the game's kind of come from where we've started to here.
And no, it's not in a PowerPoint.
It is not in a PowerPoint, no. Everyone apart from Matt will be delighted to hear.
I'd say I was banned from PowerPoints, but they know that it wouldn't work. I'd get around it somehow. But no, It's not in a PowerPoint. Nat's hosting that one, so I've just sent Nat all of the stuff, and she will work magic, and all I need to do is waffle, which I'm really good at.
Absolutely. And we'll be releasing the schedule for next week's Railfan TV as well, which will be very much in the same vein as tonight for March Madness. We'll be doing that tomorrow. So we'll just be making sure that everybody has access to what that will be. We will be having the Hamburg. That's not the right thing. We will be having the Luzerne-Circe preview stream here with the passengers. Luzerne-Circe preview stream tomorrow night as well. So if you're interested in that route, come on down. We'd love to have you. That will be with Nat, Jasper, and Matt as well. So Jasper from River will be coming along as well. 8 o'clock. All of the March Madness streams start at 7 o'clock, but the what we're calling feature streams will start at 8 o'clock.
I don't know where this goes, I'm just wondering. Track 39, apparently.
Don't know if anybody's unlocked the mastery tile yet for this one, but it's quite cool, the mastery tile.
Oh, there we go. So the scenario ended. And obviously I got a gold medal. There you go. Right, so let's... did we want to walk around Grand Central some more?
Let's have a little wander and explore, shall we?
Don't know why I'm setting clouds, but... I think that was the M. So I was driving. So it'd be the M7A. There's no M8 in the game. So you got this concourse up the back here, which links to all the platforms. One of the things I've seen a number of comments about actually is there's no PIS in Grand Central Terminal, and while in the modern Grand Central Terminal, they are just now starting to install PIS on all the platforms in Grand Central. They're only relatively recent because the passengers don't stay down here. You don't wait for your train down here. You wait for your train in the main area with all the big, enormous boards out there, and then you come down here. So they've not really needed the PIS down here previously. So. That's why, and with the reference that we had, there was no PIS down here, so that's why it didn't get added. We did find out very, very late in the day that yes, it is now being added, but it was too late for us to do anything about it. All the other stations have got PIS because they do it in real life, but no, that's why this one doesn't. It is intentional, and copies the reference that we saw at the time. Essentially, there are these. A small number of platforms have got little employee monitors. For the employees to use, but they're not a passenger information system. It's just like a train information system for the employees. We don't have those in the game. Again, we didn't know they existed. But here we are, Grand Central Terminal. It's kind of, I think, this sort of tone for the sort of the area. The idea is you can walk around any of the platforms. This is a collectible. Tidy up the recycling.
Ah, there we go. So you do tidy up the trash.
you've got fire extinguisher. What else can we find? I feel like I need to go on a collectible hunt. This is not a good thing. Is that collectible? No, it isn't. Ooh, that looks postery. Yes.
Yep, there we go.
I was sitting in a restaurant the other day, and there was a poster, and it was completely white. I tell you what, I had to hold myself down on the seat.
So you got another one there. There we go.
Where else? No, I think we're running out of GCT. So Grand Central Tavern in reality is obviously quite a station. There is some storage yard sidings, and you can see they do get used as well. And you've got the loop. I can't remember if the loop gets used. I have a sneaky feeling it does. But in reality, it's 2 layers of track on this, the upper layer and the lower layer. We're on the upper layer. The lower layer is not modelled. The lower layer, you can see the tracks. You can see the tracks going down to the lower layer, but they're not there actually modelled for player to access. And similarly, the main concourse is not modelled. So it's just the upper layer where all of the upper level where all of the platforms are, so that you can get on and off the trains. And you've got the access to get between the platforms. So that's Grand Central Terminal.
Lovely. Okay. Night time.
So let's do a Grand Central to North White Plains nighttime service then. Do it in the M7. We did the other one in the M3. And we'll do it early morning. Let's do North White Plains. Filter this down. Like I said, filter for North White Plains if you want the stopping services. Filter for Southeast if you want the express services. And then use the length to see how they're like. That's a nice fast one at 44 minutes. Crikey. 5 AM in January. It should be pretty dark.
I'd imagine that'd be pretty dark,
we
yeah.
want to go that way round. Let's do that. Crazy Killer says he likes the new billboard tech. Bakerloo's interesting, hunting for new advertisements. I hadn't even thought people would go and try and find all of the adverts. That's really clean, really neat.
Yeah, and I think there might be some new ones popping up in the very near future. So yeah, that's an interesting point to add. Actually, obviously it's not for Harlem, but on the core routes we added dynamic billboards as well as the skybox tech as well for clouds. So you might see some different ads on the billboards where you would normally see ads in real life. We think it helps to build out the immersion, and by the sounds of things, people are doing the collectibles with the ads, which is great. So.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really neat because we've had so many requests over the years for more realistic adverts, and literally to the point of can you go and try and license adverts the way that you would license brands and things like that. So it's kind of been this interesting journey of how would we do that? Because currently we just make up fictional adverts because you can't just use a real advert; it's still a copyrighted piece of work. And when you go and talk to a company and say, "Can we use your billboard?" they get really confused. Why would you want to do that? It's been really odd. But now we're working with this other company that provides online advertisement for video games, and it just works really well because it means that you'll get real adverts, and they'll be fitting with the environment that you're in. You have the option to turn it off, of course, but it means that the routes will change a little bit. Now, at the moment, it's only on Bakerloo, Colnarken and Sandpatch Grade. There isn't much on Sandpatch Grade. It's not big on the adverts because it's a freight route, but there's plenty on the other two, particularly Bakerloo. But we're interested in your feedback and what you think, what you like, what you want to see more of, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, Josh asked, is it on consoles? No, it's only on Steam.
It's only on Steam, and that's not because we don't want to do it on consoles, it's because the back-end advertising platform doesn't currently work on consoles. So as soon as that is supported, and I believe it's on the roadmap, then we will try and get that in.
Yes. So we will, we'll see what you can think of them. Should we do? I've just realised you pulled out of the station map. I was going to say, should we do a route map?
Well, I'm not only doing like 10 miles an hour, so So this is Grand Central Terminal, coming up the corridor here to via Harlem 125th, which will be here. Across the bridge. This is Yankee Stadium up here, and Mothaven Junction, which is away. And then it comes around here. You've got the Afterway Field, is it? Something like that. You've got the junction here where the Metro North Red Line trains, so the New Haven Line trains, would come down this way. There are no Red Line trains in here, no New Haven trains in the route. There'd be the M8s and so forth. The Blue Line, Harlem lines carry up here and work their way eventually up to. So this will be White Plains. This is North White Plains, and then this is the depot, North White Plains. Actually, I need to get some safety systems on. Again, you don't have to turn the safety systems on, but even if you've got them turned off, pay attention to them, because they will keep you out of trouble. And remember, 15, 30, 45 miles an hour for restricted medium and limited. You'll find that the HUD actually does tell you. So you see that even though I'm in a 10 mile an hour track speed limit at the minute, the blue line there is actually telling me that because I'm an R, the signal speed limit is 15. So you don't have to remember it, but the HUD will advise you. But if you're not using the HUD, then just remember the 15, 30 and 45 miles per hour.
A couple of people asking about the physics on this particular loco. It's worth mentioning the fact that this route, in terms of the routes and stuff, we obviously get a lot of source material, and we use that as best we can. But we also have a really brilliant beta community who give us lots and lots of feedback on bits and pieces. And I believe we had a driver of one of these particular locos, I think, in the beta system, I think.
Yeah, we've spoken to 2 or 3 people who have given us direct feedback on the behaviour of the trains, both generally and specifically, and advised us on, its the operating characteristics and trying to tune the trains better. So a lot of time has been spent getting the acceleration and braking curves correct, and we also got access to the technical documentation. A lot of it's available, which told us that actually like I said earlier on, the ratios were set differently on this compared to the Long Island version. So it isn't just an update of the physics. It is physics appropriate for the Metro North versions of the trains as well, because they are slightly different. It's relatively minor, but it does make a difference to the way they accelerate and brake, particularly accelerate.
Cool. And as you can see, we're going back through the tunnels again. So you've got these kind of rectangular tunnels. We'll go out into the archway style tunnels.
Archway tunnels, surely.
And then we'll be out into the the morning sky. Oh, I've just had a quick look in Discord and somebody's found the donkey on this route. Oh, that's devious where they've hidden it this time round.
Oh, really? Message me, tell me where it is.
Let me show you. I'll send you a little screenshot quickly. Sorry, we're having a little private conversation here on the live stream. But
don't tell everybody else here. Shh. Right, access is just enabled. We're now good for 60 miles per hour. You can see we've got an N for normal signal. Normal means follow what the cab signalling is telling you. That's telling me 60. And the track speed is 60 as well. That's just evil. Well spotted. Right, 1 mile until the 45. Now, again, the cab signalling on this route will not guide you down to 45. You'll not get 60 turning to 59, 58 guiding you down. What will happen is that at the moment it becomes 45, it will drop to 45, and if you're doing more than 45, you're in trouble.
the donkey is very well in. Dino Tracy has asked a good question about Long Island in terms of the kind of backdating the improvements to the locos on this route back onto Long Island. It's one of those things that we get asked quite a lot when we improve the locos on a new route, and the kind of the simple question is it kind of falls down to the preservation crew team in order to make sure that then the rest of the routes are then kind of built up to the levels of the newer routes, and obviously he's working on a lot of other stuff at the moment. You can see on the roadmap there's lots of things currently in the schedule for preservation crew that they're kind of boldly working their way through at the moment. So it's not currently on that list, but we're looking at kind of ways in which we can maybe get it on that list in the future. But as I say, for the time being it's not on there, but we're chatting to Adam about the best way that we can perhaps do something like this in the future.
Right, just drop to 40.
Let's get a shot on the road.
5. There we go. We're out in the Park Avenue tunnel, just the last bit before we come outside. Access is 60, so we should be able to speed up in a minute as soon as the track speed goes up. There you go. Get a little bit of a burst at 60 before that 40 hits.
There we go, and we're up into the night sky.
Is that at 60 miles an hour, that 40 comes up a bit faster than if I was going slow.
It wouldn't be a stream with Matt if we didn't get pinged at some point.
And again, what will happen here is that access will come along, and if you're doing 60 and you haven't remembered that 40, then you'll be coming into an emergency stop in front of Harlem and doing the crawl of shame into Harlem Station.
Yeah, so night lighting. Obviously, the standard I think was set for this for Riesa Dresden, and I think everything is being kind of measured up to that level at the moment. But with the work that's gone on with that particular route, the devs have learned new tips, tricks, skills, which they've kind of built into the updates that have sort of come since. So it's not quite the kind of the same level of love and care that perhaps Riesa Dresden had, but it should be a improvement on what perhaps you've seen in the past on a route like a metropolitan route like this.
Right, just coming into Harlem 125th now.
Okay, Megaru's asked a good question, and Matt, you're probably again best placed to answer this one. How do you choose your beta testers?
Oh dear. I don't really have a scientific answer to that question. It's more I talk to people and or people recommend people, and then I go and talk to people, and I just get a feeling for. It's not just what information, what skills and experience essentially someone can bring to the beta team. It's also how well do I think they'll gel with the existing beta team, because train enthusiasts, much like any enthusiast, we can all get a little bit precious about who's right and who's wrong, and it's just about making sure that we've got a great bunch of people that can all constructively work together, it also, I can't grow it too fast because I need to make sure that everybody's listened to, and I can talk to everybody, and that the discussions don't get lost and so forth. But we are growing it. Just added a new person in the beta team today, in fact. Yeah, it is kind of it's like I said, it's not a scientific answer to the question. It's kind of I go with a gut feeling when I'm talking to people, and take it from there.
Cool, thanks, Matt. Yeah, I mean, there are a few kind of discussions going on about things like public betas and whatnot. I think we'll probably have more for you when we talk in the next roadmap about what's happening with that and what our kind of ambitions are for it.
Yeah, definitely.
The next roadmap, which by the way will be not the Tuesday following, but Tuesday coming up, but it will be the first Tuesday of April as we move to the new monthly roadmap, where we try and give you much more information, a little bit of a deep dive into what is going on the development side of things. Try and get some of the third-party developers in to give a little bit of an update on what they're working on. So hopefully it gives you more information than perhaps to perhaps what done if they were fortnightly.
Right, that's crossing the bridge for the river.
It's going to be a meme now, isn't it?
I think once it's going up to 40. So we're coming up to Mothaven Y next, with the junction to Yankees. We'll be carrying on straight on. Next station for us is Melrose, just the other side of Mothaven. One little thing to remember is that access trips the speed up at the front of the train, whereas the actual permitted speed of the train is based on the slowest speed anywhere on the train. So you just got to wait one train length when the speed goes up before the red line will move. This is my Sorry?
I think it looks good.
Get a real sense of presence of movement while you're going along. It doesn't feel like it's a city in a power cut.
No, and in keeping with the clean theme of the whole route, obviously you can see stars, and I'm not sure how many you will be able to see in actual New York, but this is a clean New York. This is an environmentally friendly, ecologically sound New York.
Yeah, I know, it's very loud outside. It's one of the reasons I'm trying to do outside very little, because I can't make the outside quieter without making the inside virtually silent. So I'm just trying to keep to the outside to a minimum, but that's why.
Yes. So yeah, obviously this is a Let's Play stream. It is now live. It is available on all good platform stores if you want to invest any of your time or your money into it. And there's also loads and loads of other routes live now on Steam with some good deals on them. So I think up to 85% off in some cases. So head over to Steam, March Madness, they're all on our page. If you're a Train Simulator fan, there's loads and loads of stuff on that as well. So if you've been saving up, or if you've had one that you've had your eye on for a while and you're waiting for something to crop up, the likelihood is it's probably on sale. So head on over there, and yeah, we look forward to seeing what you come back with.
It's probably a collectible right there, itching now.
Oh, you're so far away, Matt.
It's important to me to give the passengers a good service. But I want the collectible. If you were actually driving the train, you just, in real life, any kind of little shiny thing in the distance, you'd be running off to try and grab. You'd be to
like
see if it was collectible, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not a train driver. It's one of the reasons I'm not a train driver.
I think somebody said, what's the LED to the left of you? Is that your mouse?
This thing here, no, I can't remember what that is actually.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought that.
See, you're only seeing the little mouse cursor because XSplit only captures it as a little mouse cursor, but on my screen it's a proper mouse cursor. Proper huge.
So after we have done the Harlem run today, I will be heading off, and I will be letting Matt take you on probably another 4 hours worth of live stream. stream, we'll be doing Nahverkehr Dresden. So you will be seeing the night lighting from Dresden, actually. We mentioned that already. So you'll be seeing that tonight. Well, I'm assuming if Matt chooses to do a night run of it, then you'll see it. Which, again, is also on sale. So if you want to do it, then go for it. Go wild.
Right, we're coming up to Tremont.
Just put in the chat. Matt, did you hear that? JD said 4 hours is acceptable. Let's do this.
I heard that.
Hey, mate, go wild, mate. I don't mind. In 4 hours, I'll probably be waking up to go to the airport. So.
Right, just coming into Tremont.
Sadly, I will not be going. I'm going to Heathrow, so I won't be going with the Gatwick Express. Sadly, can't replicate the real world. Sorry, the TSW experience.
Right.
Train Simulator driver, you have a nice holiday as well. Thank you.
Going. Doors closed. And we're off to Fordham. I say it's only about 25 miles, something like that, but it's an hour's journey if you're doing a stopping run, so it's still quite a lot there.
It's quite substantial, isn't it? Yeah. I do like how there are lots of places here that have got English equivalents, and I can only picture what the English equivalents are like. You've got Wakefield and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
Very,
we are,
very
after all, in New York.
Very true, very true. And yeah, New York has obviously got a big kind of British/Dutch heritage to it as well. So obviously it used to be New Amsterdam, didn't it? So
Indeed. 0.7 miles to Fordham.
okay,
No,
so
it won't be a particularly late stream tonight because I was up till gone midnight working on the Raiders Club issue with the rest of the team, so I'm looking forward to my bed, if I'm honest.
even Matt needs sleep.
Even Matt needs sleep. I'm trying to be a good boy these days and actually go to sleep at a sensible time, rather than back in my old habits of going to bed at 4 o'clock every morning, getting up at 8 for work, and being a zombie all day.
That makes me feel physically sick.
Did that for months and months and months. Eventually you get numb to it. Right.
Is that a good thing?
No. It's terrible. It's a difficult habit to break, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do like an early night. I'm really glad that I've got this reputation now of just... Because, to be honest with you, it's absolutely true. Most nights I will be in bed by, like, 10. Apart from last night, that was slightly different.
Wait until 5:59, and then we'll be heading off for Botanical Garden.
Oh, very nice. How far do you want to go on this, Matt, or when do you want to transfer over to Dresden?
Oh, let's go to Botanical then.
Let's go to Botanical. Cool.
Actually,
Oh.
we'll just drive off from here, and then I want to do one thing, because again it came up on the forums, and I just want to demonstrate that first bit of it, just so that you can see how the cab signalling is protecting you
Yes.
when you're looking at it.
Let's do that.
let's just go ahead. And one of the other things that I've seen on the forums is related to just misunderstanding of the signaling system. Is in this first journey here, you can go to the southeast 616 southeast to GCT, and in this service, you're actually following another train. You're an express train, which means that you very quickly catch up to it. And if you're not following the signals, you catch up to it in spectacular style. So power up and get the passengers loaded. Get the doors open. Brake charging. Now I'm going to leave the safety systems off so that you can see what the sort of like the default is. But I'm going to follow it as if they were turned on.
Okay. I'm going to say very little, Matt. You can definitely take this section because I think you're going to be teaching me rather than me. I'll ask some stupid questions, maybe.
Go for it. So yeah, at the moment, track speed is 50 and the N light is lit up. Again, down here on the bottom right, you can see access 50. So and that's confirmed by the track speed indicator here, saying that we're in a 50 limit. So we are all good for 50 miles per hour, according to the onboard systems and according to the track. Now the track is representing your knowledge as a driver, and you can see what track speeds are up ahead, up here as usual on the pause screen. This is the track speeds, and then signalling systems layer on top of that essentially. With the doors closed, it's now time to depart and we run. So next station is White Plains. So do one stop at White Plains, wait for the brakes to come off, then the interlock releases and we go. We've got a limited aspect in front of us now, which is 45 miles per hour. We're also approaching a 35 limit, so I'm actually going to back off power a little bit, since we know we're approaching 35. And after a limited aspect, you like to get them in, which is 30 limit, so we'll now decelerate down to 30. Again, because the safety systems are off, I don't have to do these things, but by doing it, you'll maintain a proper distance in front of you and you won't run into any problems. One of the interesting things about the restricting aspect is that it's 15 miles an hour, but in addition to 15 miles per hour, you are also driving on sight, which means that you will probably come up against the obstacle in your way. Be prepared to stop. So you need to be looking out the window. That glass in front of you is important. The signals won't stop you. Gone back up to down to a medium, back up to a limited. Anyone think there was a train in front of us? To be fair, with signals going crazy like that. That just means that we're catching up to the signal, and it's just the way the blocks are going with the train in front of us. That's why it's going up and down. So limited is a 45. It's got far enough away now that we've got a clear aspect, but we're stopping here, so I'll speed up a little bit and get into the station, to White Plains, and then we'll be off non-stop then. We're not going to drive all the way to GCT. It only takes very shortly before you catch up to the next station, to the train in front actually.
Yeah, you've got to be on your guard, really, haven't you? It's one of those ones where it feels like it should be quite easy to manage and quite easy to see things in the distance, but obviously you're gonna come on them quite quickly, aren't you? So
this is the problem, and it's something that a lot of people, if you're not familiar with driving trains, I mean, obviously everybody watching the stream, he knows exactly how long it takes to stop a train. It's quite a long time, but for your friends and family who have no appreciation of these finer details, think that trains can stop like a car. And when you say no, it takes a mile to stop, I think most people are dumbfounded by that. And then when you realise that the signalling system is not going to give you the yellow light down to a red light that you might be used to on other routes, then you realise just actually your yellow light, your red light, so forth is on this display board over here on the left hand side, or if you're using the HUD, it's down there on the bottom right. And you need to be watching that because there are very little in the way of real signals. In fact, what you're looking for on the track, you don't have to look for them because you'll get the alerts, but down the track are these balises in the middle of the track, which of course I can't find now. There'll be one somewhere. Stop making me a liar. Here we go. These are the transponders that talk to the train and update your signal aspect. So this is the equivalent of where a signal might be, for example, if you were in that kind of a world. Let's get the doors shut so we can make a swift departure on time. I did also mention on one of the other streams you can fiddle with the channel on the radio. It doesn't do anything, but people have said they wanted to have things to play with for immersion purposes. Feel free. Right, so again, traction interlock released. We have a normal aspect, 35 miles per hour. So I'm going to run up to the speed limit, and we'll follow that, and we'll just follow what it says, because very shortly we will catch up to the train in front, and then it will start slowing us right down. Access is still 35, and it will be for a little bit. Come around off this curve, and then I think it'll speed us up.
There we go.
Access bumped to 65, just waiting for the actual speed limit of the train to go up now, and then we can speed up. Meanwhile, the train in front of us is stopping at stations we're not stopping at, because you can see our destination is 125th now, just outside Grand Central Terminal. So we will catch up to that when it makes its next stop. Double O, is it possible to get a better exterior view for console? What do you mean, Double O? What's wrong with your exterior view? Right, so access is 65, track is 65, so I'm going to run up to 65. There is a 60 limit coming up, so we'll need to be on the ball for that, because again, if the track spot drops to 60, at 60 if you had the safeties on, you would just get a warning, and you can slow down to it, but much more than that, and it starts getting all bumpy. This is an actual signal. This is one of the lesser spotted actual signals. And flashing green says, effectively, do what your cab says, and double reds is stop, do not proceed. And they're just used to protect these junctions. Yeah, so if the points were set against you, then you'd have a red light telling you can't go that way safely. At all.
PW, a very pertinent question actually. Well, did they miss the US signalling tutorial that you were planning, Matt, a few months back? You have not. We just still haven't managed to put it all together as of yet. And we talked about PowerPoints at the start. Matt has not been able to put the PowerPoint together because of various different being very busy.
These things are really time consuming to put together, and I just haven't had a chance. So we just got ATC L, which is limited 45 miles per hour. So I've just slowed down. Yeah, so this is the L that's lit up here, and also down in the bottom right it says ATCL. So you're watching for that. That now says to slow down, which I have done. You only have to, when you're slowing down, watch for this BA light, which is the brake ashore. If I apply a bit of brakes, you'll see at some point the brake ashore light pops on. That's it. That's your deceleration rate to keep the safety system happy. So if you want to, even without the safety systems turned on, that's the level of braking that you want to be doing. It doesn't have to be excessive. Just as soon as you've got that brake ashore light switch on, and you'll get used to what level of braking that is. So I'm just going to pull back up to the 45. Right, we've got medium now, which is 30, so I'm going to slow down. There's the brake ashore light. Drop down to 30. Again, if you weren't paying any attention to this, you'd still be doing line speed, doing 65 miles an hour, and catching up with this train in front in epic style. Next impulse or transponder is in 200 yards. So, Double O, what you can do is there is a camera shift, and if you press and hold the right stick and use right D-pad, you can cycle through a bunch of external views. Right, I've just got a restriction now, so 15 miles per hour. And one of those is the equivalent of the 8 camera, which is the static camera. So see how you get on with that. You can also zoom in this externally as well using the operation shift. If you look on the settings screen, I'm on PC so I can't easily demonstrate it. If you look on the settings screen, then you can see it, how you do it. Right, the aspect has just gone up to medium, so I'm good back up to 30 now. That suggests the train in front is departing away from me, so I can speed back up. Now it obviously is not subject to the same limitations because it's got nothing in front of it, one would hope. Yep, so it's pulling away now, so I've got a limited aspect, so I'm now good to 45. And it really is just a question of doing what it says. You know, the signal tells you 15, 30 or 45, 15, 30 or 45 miles per hour. I've gone back to a medium, we've caught up again a bit. Cool. Okay, so I just need to back off a little bit and let it get up ahead of me a bit. Back up to a limit again now. So you can see this is how you drive. Follow this, follow the track speed and the this NLMRS thing, and you'll stay well away from everything else. And at 15 miles per hour, bear in mind that you are going to be running up against some other train. Oh, we almost got access there, and then we caught up again.
We were so close, Matt, to nearly getting pinged for the first time this stream.
Well, no, safety systems are off, so I'm not going to get pinged.
Oh.
But we almost got out of restriction. We were able to drop the hammer again, right forward to there, back down to an M, so we've caught up with the train at its next stop probably. So we dropped back down to 30 miles an hour. It's got back up to 45. It's quite a fun service, this one. It's 7616 southeast to GCT, and you are following this train all the way, and it's not a pain. That's it. Now we're back up to access again. Well, this is it. You've got to keep watching it. I mean, once you get the hang of it like this, come back and do it again with the safety systems turned on, because obviously there, if you get it wrong, then you find the brakes coming on all the time, and it's really challenging. You've got to be watching it like a hawk to get where you need to go, which is really cool.
It's like real driving, isn't it? It's like what you would do if you were driving this train. There will be scenarios in which you will be stuck behind other trains, wouldn't you? So
absolutely. Yeah. And you're more aware of it in reality, because you never know what's going to be up ahead. You would naturally be paying much more close attention. Your job, your career is at stake, let alone lives are at stake if you get it wrong. Whereas in the game, it can be easy to sort of doze off a little bit, but when you get after you play a couple of scenario services like this, you realise, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe I should be paying more attention. Yeah, they're quite fun. Right, we're coming up on the 60, so I'm going to drop the speed back down to the 60 so that access doesn't ping me, but it just quietly tut in the background. I think we'll go just for a little bit and then we will stop. This has just dropped to 60. Now I'm doing 58, so again, if you're running close to the speed limit, especially if you're going down a hill like I am, you need to be paying a little bit more attention to make sure you don't accidentally peep over the speed limit, because access gets grumpy when you do that.
Someone's mentioned we need to do this in the 4-up challenge. Don't give Sam any ideas. I tell you what though, if you are interested in the 4-up challenge, next Friday,
it's epic.
You will probably have the most carnage-filled 4-up challenge you will ever see. And I'm not saying that because I'm having to shunt.
Switch.
Well,
it's American.
Well, okay, sorry. Yeah, that probably will explain some of what happens next Friday. To be perfectly honest with you, but it is.
Oh, it's hysterical.
Carnage.
I mean, I haven't seen the videos, but I've heard the comments. I've seen the discussions between everybody that took part, and it's just hysterical. It's.
I'm not made for it. We're doing Sand Patch, essentially. Again, a little kind of homage to the 5th birthday. We thought we'd try and do the first ever route for Train Sim World, and it did not go well for me. I will say that right now, and I think that it is utter carnage. It's me, Nat, Jamie, and Sam. So let the hilarity ensue. That'll be next Friday.
Utterly brilliant. Anyway, that's it. That was it's a really good way to practice your signals. Train 616 southeast to GCT. It's a really interesting way to just practice some stuff going on with the signals as you drive down the line. But hopefully that's guided you into how to do it. Even if you've not got it turned on, you still have to follow it because there isn't the lights on this route. So you still need to follow the cab signals, otherwise you are going to crash into other trains. Don't do that. That's not good. Right. There we go.
Cool.
Should we go back to this one?
Yeah, as I said, let's put the face cams back on, shall we? So, Harlem Line is now live. So if you want to get it on any platform, it should be ready to go. If you've enjoyed what we've shown you tonight, then absolutely go and get it. And as well as all that, we have lots of other stuff currently on sale on Steam for March Madness. So head for up to 85% off on the store, as it says on the little thing above my head. I'm going to tap out at this point. Because Matt is then going to take you on a 4-hour journey of Nahverkehr Dresden, but maybe less than 4 hours.
Less than 4 hours.
He needs a bit of sleep. We'll be back. Well, I won't be back tomorrow, but we will be back tomorrow with Luzerne Cersei preview. Yep, we'll be bringing Jasper from Rivet on to show us the route and preview the route. Really excited for that one. On Sunday, we will be doing the belated or slightly postponed birthday stream with Nat and Matt as well. So Matt, you're going to get a triple helping of Matt this weekend, which is great. And then we'll have some more for you next week as well on Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you are free. Make sure you're coming to join us. We weren't able to get the Steam rewards set up tonight, unfortunately, for everybody who's watching. We've had a couple of issues with Steam, as you can see by the fact that we restarted the stream. But we will see if we can get those sorted for you for tomorrow's stream. So we'll just give you double next time round if that's a good compromise for you all. But yeah, I'm going to tap out. I'll let Matt take you from here on in. We're going to do a Nahverkehr Dresden stream. Have a lovely evening, folks, and I'll leave you with Matt.
See you, JD. Have fun.
See you later.
Right, I'm going to pop back over here, and right. You folks have to let me if you know it. If you prefer camera on or camera off, okay? And we'll come out of that, and mic off. Yeah, that's just what I'd expect from you, Moggy. Right, okay. Let's go to what are we doing? Dresden, that one. When it finishes loading this, because apparently I thought I reset my profile, didn't I? There. Let's come out of that. Right, so I don't know what we're going to do actually. Totally haven't planned. Why don't we do a couple of bits, you know? We'll do a couple of bits. We'll do... Takes fancy. Give me a couple of quick... Go 155. I must admit, I was thinking 155. I am very tempted by a bit of 155. Let's do a bit of 155. We'll do it in July. Okay, we'll do it in November. A bit of light cloud. 155. And we will do a Dresden to Riesa. And we'll do it sort of about that sort of time of day. Let's do that one. And then what should we do after that? Have a think while we're going, and let's see what we're going to do after that. Whether we do a bit of ICE, whether we do a bit of talent. Okay, so it's the switch on process of a million switches. Oh, hello, you're off. Headlight, headlight, headlight. Cooling fans, and we'll put those lights on, and we'll put those lights on, and we'll dial the brake traction force selector down a bit. Where's the light switch? There it is. Right, I think we're powered up now. Let's key in brakes. And somewhere down here, there is a light switch in here as well, actually. There is a CFA and a PZB. Mode M is fine. And we'll turn these lights off. Close the door. Back over here. Right, I'm going to apply the direct brake and get the main brake releasing. Put the reverser in forward. We've got a green light by the looks. So we're good to go once the brakes are off. Take a minute for the brakes to release on the train, so I'm just going to do that for a mo. It's coming back up. Right, let's release the direct brake and put a couple of notches of power on. Brakes might not be released yet, so I can see the main reservoir going down, so that means the wagons are still charging up. Yeah, I love the BR155. It's kind of the era that I like of old trains. When trains were trains. Horns were apparently not horns. Brakes will release eventually. I feel it really close from moving. Yeah, it looks even moving. I was just not patient enough. What we got, I think it says is this Habins or is it mixed? Mixed. Some Habins, some Zackens, some more Habins, more Zackens. So sort of Habins and Zackens. Pulled up a little bit of speed. What I'd like to do is, once we've got going, I'd just like to take the power throttle off, and then you can get an idea of if the brakes have actually released properly, which it looks like they have. We're maintaining speed, so let's get some power on. Tractive force meter back up to 100. This is Mode M. Right, so we're leaving Dresden. We're still in start program, so we've got a 40 km/h limit applied to us. Just dialing the power back because we're coming up on that 40 now. Why does Sifa sound like a cow? I don't know. Flashing light with an expect 5 for 50. 1000 hertz. Which doesn't mean much, to be honest. It means that we're limited to 105 kilometers an hour, and the speed limit's way lower than that. So that 5 meant the next signal was going to be a 50 km/h limit. It's a bit of a mess getting out of Dresden. Once we get through past Neustadt, it'll pick up. expect 5. There's Talent 2. Has there been updates on Creators Club, Zorbs? Yes, we gave an update earlier on that the team have been testing a fix today. They're almost finished testing the fix, probably finish testing tomorrow morning, and then we'll find out and let you know about when it can be rolled out. We're hoping it'll be this side of the weekend, but if not, it'll be just after the weekend. But we'll confirm that tomorrow. Alright, we're going downhill now, or level at least. So I'm just going to keep an eye on our speed. Wolfboy, no, you should be okay to update now. There shouldn't be any issues there. Got a 60 limit at this signal, but it's green, so it's fine. So it's flashing 70 now, so we are clear for 70 kilometers per hour. Except it's a 60 limit, so maybe not. Yes, Creative Club is offline at the moment until we get this fix out. Once this fix is out, then we will, and we're sure everyone's got it. Then we'll turn Creative Club back on again. But the current situation is fine. You can run the game. You shouldn't lose anything. Speed up now. Let's dial the tractive force selector up. Let's get some more power out of this thing. So who's picked up Harlem? What do you think of it? Basic is the next waypoint, and that puts us on the slow lines, I think, doesn't it? Oh no, it's on the high speed lines. 182 coming in the other direction there, the MRCE version. Coming up to the limit, I'm going to dial the power back down again, let the notches run down. Mod Pete picked up Harlem, hard to put down, awesome, glad you're enjoying it. Cyclone, this is Matt. PCBM under no restriction is 125 kilometers an hour. Obviously drop the 5 kilometers an hour out to give you some leeway. And then so it's 125 or 70 if you've got the 1000 hertz. Let me turn the camera back on. This isn't a normal stream. This is just a let's play. You can turn the camera on. You can find a way to deal with it. Cameras at the bottom of the priority list. There we go. I made myself little. There you go. How's that? Hey Talker Games, how's it going? Right, I think we're good to accelerate now. We've got nothing up ahead of us, so I'm going to drop the hammer. DOGG, as a New Yorker, thanks for the Harlem Line. Love your city. Also, fantastic, isn't it? I've been past New York. I've not actually been to New York, and I need to fix that at some point. I want to go and ride lots of trains in New York. Drive my wife up the wall, probably. Well, probably she can go shopping somewhere, or she can go find a craft fair. She does like her crafts, and I'm just going to go ride trains all day. 88 miles an hour. We'll come back in time next. Let's start dialing down the power. It's fast enough, we don't need to rush, it's free. CTSL rail fan, that's what you do in New York. Yeah, you ride the subway, go ride the Long Island, go ride Harlem, the Hudson. Get an Amtrak up to Boston and back, or down to Washington and back, or heck, go to Boston down to Washington and back to New York. Hey, that sounds like a fun day out. Train simulator driver, when you went on your own 2018, stayed in New Jersey, seems you could ride different train into New York every day. Nice. Let's get the power back on a little bit at least. I've not heard of any fixes on the BR187 cab pay. I need to ask Adam and get a catch up on what Skyhook are looking at on terms of that. Thing to remember when you're driving is that if you hit 1000 hertz, you've got to get down to 70 kilometers an hour. It just makes you feel a little bit less comfortable going too much above the 70. I got my Pudsey onesie, Mod P, cycling. You might remember it from the the Isle of Wight 1938 stock. I'm going to talk about the track sound with the audio engineers, Pegasus Leo. It's there, but I think it's not loud enough. It's not present enough. In reality, it's quite loud. And it's been an ongoing thing. So I'm going to find out what the issue is there, what we can do about it. Ooh, what we got coming in the direction of Talent 2, Hamsterback. Freight train overtaking the passenger train. Encouraging me to speed up, that's what's happening. It's a train. Where are you going? Iceland. Excellent. because I don't want to stop. Big Dog, I need to go and check and see if that's on the list. I think it is for the 155 back cab, but I need to go and check to find out what it's got to. You want the Dosto next, do you, Class 37? Hey, Captain Andy. Well done on your stream, your charity stream, Captain Andy. Good total in the end. For those that don't know, Captain Andy did a charity stream, and a bunch of people actually, not just Captain Andy, but a bunch of people did a charity stream, raised some great money for the Red Cross, supporting Ukraine. It's good to see the community coming together to help. The speed limit goes up shortly, although that doesn't apply to me particularly. You will get 1,000 hertz on a yellow light, Liam, yes. Guaranteed. So we're now on the bypass line. Steel Series has a pink keyboard. Yes, I am literally looking up. Not on Amazon, they don't, anyway. You have one on Kolnacken on approach to Kolnacken. Was it not the PTB end? Let's speed up again because we've got nothing in front of us, so let's put it up to 120. It's on their own shop, is it? How are we doing? 97. You're approaching the yellow light. 1,000 hertz came on about 500 meters away. Something else must have caused it then. There are other things that can cause 1,000 hertz. Not a freight train. That one's an MRC 185. Speed check. Oh yeah, the GPU or something like that. Yes, I know the ones you mean. Could be. GPA magnets, Liam, that's it, yeah. No, they don't do 1000 hertz. No, GPA don't do 1000 hertz. They do a 2000 if you're going too fast. Which is a go to jail, do not pass go. Adding in a panel to adjust the audio at this point is extremely difficult because you have to go back to every train to add the mixer setting in and dial it into all of the way the sound cues are all set up for every train and all the routes and so forth, so that you can, because at the moment it's just saying play these sounds at these volumes and it's all hard coded. So if you want to then dial a mixer slider in, that has to then be reprogrammed into all of the content. No, 1000 hertz isn't for that. That's CIFA, Liam, which is separate. Dialed it down to notch 20, and we seem to be about balanced out on speed, so I'll leave it there for a bit. Gesuchsteigel Krugelschankerflug. There you go. That was the other thing I was going to suggest, that it might be that, actually, strike. Yeah. That was my second guess. Yeah, I used to use train backgrounds, cab shots, because what I used to do was take a shot of the train, say from here, and just take a screenshot from here, take a screenshot from about there, and then alpha channel the webcam and put the camera right behind it. Or put the camera in front of, put the background behind it, so it looked like I was sitting in the train. That was fun. I need to get a green screen set up behind me. There is one in a bag over there, but I'm afraid to open it because it's like one of those kids' tents that once you open it, you need to do a degree in parentology to get this thing vaulted back up again. Oh yeah, see, when I'm at home I've got a green screen, Bartes. Yeah, at work here I don't have the office. I don't have a green screen yet. When I set one up, then we get the cabs in. Should we do some outside action? Going downhill, this is why. I can't apply the brakes until the thing's notched down, which it has now. Why can't I apply the brake? Peter B just got all upset at me. Yeah, I went over all the speed limit and then it's now all upset at me. For some reason I was applying, oh no, just let me go. Yeah, for some reason I was applying it with the semicolon, it wouldn't apply the brake. How odd. But having applied a full surface brake, it's going to take a minute for the wagons to release now. Oh, I don't like those AI filters, Train Simulator Driver. Teams has got one, and I've got the one that XSplit make as well. And the problem is, they're not designed to work with ears. I don't know why. So they cut around the line of the headset and lose the ears, and it's just like, come on! I'm not using that if you can't support ears. PCB will do it when you overspeed the maximum limit of the mode you're in. So if you are in mode M, as I am, and you go more than 125 kilometers per hour, then PCB will get all grumpy with you. So if you're in PCB mode O and you go above about 164, then it gets grumpy with you. If you're in PCB mode U and you go above, what is it, 105, then again, grumpiness. What is the point of streaming without cutscenes? Exactly. So no, I prefer green screen. I wish the AI stuff was better than it is, but I don't like it. I don't even use it on the Teams calls. Yeah, PCB doesn't know how fast the track speed limits are, Liam. It's got no knowledge of it at all. It literally is the only knowledge PCB has is the maximum speed of the mode you are in, and if a magnet comes along, then it has a maximum speed applied depending on the magnet. And that's it. That's all PCB knows. Obviously, some of the things that happen with a magnet are then descending, distances and descending and so forth, and it monitors those. But that's it. It's not. It doesn't know all the time. It's not constant. It's not constant monitoring. That's what LZB kind of does. Yeah, always 5 kilometers an hour under whatever your monitor speed is, Ratty. Absolutely. I've heard a number of DB drivers say, yeah, always 5 kilometers an hour under. How do you know which mode to use? Passenger trains are always PCB mode O, OBA. Medium freight trains are mode M, mid. And heavy freight trains, or trains where you have difficulty stopping, essentially, you want PC mode U, onto. It's basically your stopping ability. If you're unsure, go with mode U. If you find that you're stopping, you're able to brake really easily, then stop the train, switch it to mode M and start again. But I mean, in reality, there's maths, and they know the train weight, the braking capability. It's what these. I don't know if we can see it in here, if they've got it on the cab. But on the side, there's a table. RPG, these things here are like related to the calculation for braking, and you find that the wagons have it as well somewhere. Really lucky. Something related to these ones. Using that, you can work out what the braking capability of this train and this consist is, and then the maths tells you which mode you need to be in. BR423 is mode O. It's a passenger train, even though its brakes are a bit poop. PCB applies to distance speeds, but it's still only reacting to a 1000 Hz magnet. It has no idea what that distance speed is. Have fun, Train Simulator driver. Enjoy your holiday. .4 of Isaac, Rosenheim. Where's the power window? Let's run up. Warning of has dropped to 130. Oh heavens. Everyone remember the speed dropped to 130, yeah? You like the tap up down feature, Boggy? It's definitely a different way of doing it. It feels a bit more like driving an 87 then, doesn't it? Ready first, no news from Skyhook on the BR187. As I said to someone earlier on, I'll try and get to talk to Adam and try and get some answers. What could cause the sound levels to flip when fixing... I don't know what you mean, Liam. You'll need to give me a little bit more data to go on for that. Okay, brakes are applying this time. Oh yeah, wow, definitely should have been PCB mode U. Yeah, this is going to end badly. Come on, red light change. Come on, red light change. There we go. Emergency brakes, come on. This didn't slow down fast enough. That was a full service application. It's almost like it wasn't bothering. Oh, come on. Oh well. Right, Dosto, someone said earlier on. Let's do a Dosto. That'd be this one. Let's go for July, light cloud. And let's do a Meissen run, shall we? Something around about here. Dresden, Meissen, Triebstahl? Treibstahl? I don't know. That'll do. Top-notch driving, I know. I know. I should have tested those brakes more. That was terrible. Okay, put that in there, put it forwards, release the brakes, but apply them. Let's get the doors open. Round here, we want CFA on. Let's turn this on so I can see what I'm doing. Lights are on, and PZB is on, so CFA and PZB on. All the lights are on by the looks of it, which is good. No. Normal more headlights, cab lights, test lights off. I think we're about ready. Yep, lock the doors. Don't bother me. You win some, you lose some. As long as you enjoy it, it doesn't matter. Right, Dresden Freiburger. Make most of the errors, Fufus. What are you talking about? I make the errors so you don't have to. Something like that, anyway. Green light with an 80 limit. Oh, watching chat, completely forgot. Is it 80 limit? No, you're in start program, you donkey. Great start. Hey, all the passengers, I'd just like to invite you to look outside the train at the glorious scenery in the yellow buses. Once everybody's finished looking at the scenery, we'll proceed. Yes, this has been a service for the passengers entirely. Hey Peter X, how's it going? Power is now being applied. Right, I hope you all got your look at the outside. Isn't it lovely? Not many people get to see this part of Dresden. You lucky, lucky people. Don't forget to slow down again, you donkey, or you're doing it again. Right, all the Mono Start program is now finished, so... What I should have done is release from Start program. Didn't need to not release. As soon as I saw the green light, we were good to go. Never mind. This is one of my favourite routes, actually, long live Captain Swing. Dresden has definitely become my favourite route. It's round probably second favourite. Just realised I'm stopping here, you know. Thought I should probably go ahead and do that. Passengers had an extra stop earlier on. Does that mean I don't have to stop here? Yeah, we tested the brakes. All good. All good. C4 I turned on. Yeah, C4's on. I think I've been mashing the controls so much it just hasn't had a chance to get a word in. Dresden Mitte. Yeah, that's one of the things I like about it, Red Leader. It's like, it doesn't matter what I want to do. It's probably I can do it on Dresden Riesa. There's a bit of freight going on over here. 185.5. With pink wagons. Hype. HUD, the C4 is off. Apparently it's not showing up on the HUD. Actually, CIFA hasn't turned on, has it? You're right. Otherwise the CIFA light would go off. You're right. CIFA hasn't turned on. That yellow light should go out when CIFA is on. So no, CIFA is off. Piece of B's apparently on though. So I was wondering when the power would turn on. Look at the fuse box under the CIFA switch. Ah. There you go. Now CIFA's on. Hey, where did that get added? That's new. Yeah, I did try using Shift Enter. Alright, we've got CIFA now. CIFA's entered the building. Right, crossing over the River Elbe. Down below 70, which is fine. 85 is the 1000 Hz check speed, so we don't have to worry about that. Creatives Club is disabled at the moment, friend brother, because there was an update that didn't go quite right. What the heck's going on here? Wow. Hello? Come on, you can do it. Please? The frozen screen problem. What's that, Cyclone? It's the first time I've seen this. Let me just have a quick look at what the system is doing. Oh. Oh, right, okay. So basically, we've run out of memory. I don't ask me how, but we've run out of memory. Let me restart the game. And restart that, bring it back up again. Nearly there. It's just booting back up. We use a different train. We use a different train. I think I know what that is, and I think there is a fixing test for it. They identified some sort of a massive memory leak on the DOS related to the screens. Right, Nahverkehr Dresden, where are you? Somewhere around here anyway. There you are. Timetable. Let's do a bit of 146 then. And go the other way. Do that. Yeah, it's currently using 3 gigs of memory. A minute ago it was using 25. It shouldn't do that. Right. Let's key in and forward. Doors open on the right. Come on. What's wrong on my computer today?
AFB.
AFB on. Let's pop that up to 40. And we want the train lights on. Headlights reduced. Will do. Turn the desk light off. And then, oh, it's over here, isn't it? Headlights on. Turn all the toys on. Better. Right, away we go. Let's get rolling.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Release out of CIFA, or release out of P2B. Which is better, Riesa Dresden or West Cornwall local? I guess it depends what you want. If what you want is a British route, Riesa Dresden's not going to scratch that itch. Just generally speaking, I would play Riesa Dresden over most routes in the game, because it's my favourite route, pretty much. But I do like the German routes, so what can I say? Really pretty branch line, this. Nah, the game just needs to make better use of the RAM I've got. Ed, Will knows about it. I think he's fixed it. Or it's in test. The download raw RAM site, yeah. People don't do that. Don't ask me, Ed. Reasons, I guess. Oh, it wants me. Oh, I've forgotten. I have to pull this up. So the doors. I really need to get in and adjust these now that I think the station markers are fixed. Actually get it to release the brakes, it turns out it works much better. I'm having a good night tonight, aren't I? Spot on, in fact. Right, off we go. Meissen platform 2. Kind of sums up today in general, to be honest, Bartes. Been one of them days. This is the bridge, I think. Yeah, this is the bridge going over the Elbe from the other side. Range a nice little overshoot on this one, so we go over the top of it. Better. Better. Off we go again. Neuschornewitz, which is, I think, the final station on the branch, actually. And then we're into Cog something or other. Coswick. Been a while. Been a while. Oh, Restream bot's left. Let me log into Restream and kick it. Hopefully Restream bot has logged in again. Someone on YouTube say something. There you go. Log in, see for Cyclone said something. All good. Michael K. Luzerne stream is tomorrow. Just keeping an eye out for the indications coming up. Lost sounds on the 377. Is this on ECW or on London Brighton on the imp? Ratifus, the launch preview was last week. We streamed it again early today. Or earlier, a little bit earlier on in tonight's stream. and it's out now. There, you can buy it. Right, got a yellow light coming up. PZB.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Need to be at given a yellow light, we're expecting a red, so we need to be at 65 or lower before the 500 hertz. Which is about 300 meters. Technically, that's what we did today, really, Ratifus. But it was more of a let's play, to be honest, rather than a launch stream as such. Don't forget, folks, the London Festival of Model Railways at Alexandra Palace is this weekend, and myself and a few others will be there.
Sifa.
Yeah, this is done to stop the trains from blocking up the main line cyclone. It's not pretty, but otherwise than that, the dispatcher does enough blocks ahead that means that the whole main line gets stopped for pretty much the entire time the train is going up the branch. Now I'm only resolving it while I'm this far away, whereas it does actually resolve take it all the way out to Coswick. It stops all the trains running up and down the line. Michael K. So the Harlem Line does have rush hour passengers enabled on it. But because there's still only 200 people as the maximum characters, sometimes it's just there aren't enough characters to go round. It books enough ahead to give you all the aspects it needs to show, essentially, Cyclone. You need more than 2. I can't remember exactly what logic it's using, but it's looking far enough ahead to get all the aspects it needs, essentially. $60 at the next signal. I've just dropped AFB down to 60 so that... Oh, what the heck did I do wrong there? Was I on start program? Oh, was I on 500 hertz? Oh, I don't. I was restricted. Okay. Not paying attention. Let's not do that. Stick it on 40. Reset throttle interlocks and off we go. Oh, I clearly need to go to bed. Yeah, the screen down here tells you the limit 45, yeah.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Reauthorize the 1000 hertz there. Nah, there's no way I'm brewing. Best I've got is this just glass of lemon juice. I can't release from monitoring while I've got 1000 hertz active. So I'm stuck. Not pure lemon juice, no. Thousand hertz has come off. We've got a 45, or we've got a restricted expect 40. This is an indicator on it. Oh, this is a 40 with expect 60. 1000 hertz was from the a warning of the 60 kilometers an hour.
Zugbeeinflussung. Zugbeeinflussung.
What going on here? Nothing. Okay. Well, let's do 60 then. What could go wrong? Stopping at 1.4 kilometres. Got nothing against us, so we can keep going. This is where I missed the station and just give up. John McGlade Creative Club is offline at the moment. The team have been successful doing lots of work testing a fix today. All being well, there'll be an update tomorrow from the output of the testing, and the community team will let you know whether or not we think we're going to be able to launch tomorrow with the fix, which will enable Creators Club, or whether or not it'll be sort of beginning of the week. Hopefully it'll be tomorrow, but you'll find out tomorrow via the community team. I'm not in tomorrow, so I'll find out just because of the fact it'll start work.
Sifa.
Oh, of course, at the previous station I would have stopped on 1000 hertz, wouldn't I? Which means it would have popped into restricted monitoring once I stopped. That explained it. And 500 hertz. And we're in restricted monitoring, so pop AFB back down to 40, that way I don't forget. OTXTH, I'm assuming you're on one of the American freight routes, in which case the thing you're probably finding is the cutoff is you haven't set that to freight. So yeah, you need to check your cutoff is set to freight, set your MU2A valve is set to lead, and then you should be alright. Oh, of course, yes, 20, you're right. Yeah. Let's just sit here for hours, not looking at the fact it's time to lock the doors, shall we? No, if I'd released from PZ... Once you've got a 500 hertz, you can't release from PZB. If you release from PZB and then get a 500 hertz, you're in Pain Town. So no, you can't try and cheat your way out of the 500 hertz. The trick is to not stop. Actually... We've still got a red light. The trick is to stop the train before the 500 hertz, so that you stop it not on 500 hertz, and then not go until the train that you can see the signal is cleared, and that way you will never get held to the 20 limit. You'll only ever get held to a 40 limit. So if I'd stopped a bit further back on the platform, it would be fine. Yeah, this is S1, Derek. What are you? Where are you seeing that OGXCH? What is it? A route, a scenario? So restricted monitoring 500 Hz. Once you go past this green light, the 500 Hz will go out. That's it. And now I can release from monitoring. And then we can speed up. Next station, Radable Zichweg. .3 kilometers, that's good. Right, coming up on Radable. No, downloaded liveries will all not be available at the moment, Liam. As part of Creative Club being down, they've probably all gone from your system. As soon as it comes back up, all your subscriptions will come back down again. So you haven't lost anything, but it's just not available while Creative Club is down. Oh, you're changing junctions, OGCXDH. So what you're probably doing is you're probably pressing escape, aren't you? You're going into the map, and then when you go, not into the map, sorry, into the full map, sorry. And then when you go into here, let me find some junctions. There's junctions here, I think, yeah. And what you're finding is when you click on it, nothing happens. Yeah, is this what you're doing, OGXCH? In which case, what you need to do is not use that from the map there. Press 9 if you're on PC, or press, if you're on console, let me know and I'll tell you which one. And then what you'll find is, having pressed 9, the game is not paused anymore, so you can change junctions. The problem is that because the game is paused, obviously nothing's working. It's all paused. Whereas the 9 key is not paused. Right, we've not got anything funky going on with PZB. Come on, brakes, release. Thank you. How do you manage sign out of TS2? Zami, press escape. Sorry, not press escape. Go back to the pause screen. Go to your settings. and then use log out of Dovetail Live down there. .3 kilometers. Hornshed, can I suggest you make a drop in a support request and someone on the retail team will look into what's going on there? I don't have an answer to you on that one. I thought it would be available. Clearly not. Sammy, there will be an update. The next update that comes will rectify bringing Creators Club back online again. It's in test at the moment, has been all day. And hopefully it'll finish testing tomorrow, and then there'll be an update for the community team about when we can get it out. Credible Weintraub. Is it an absolute stop? Do you mean is it a stop mark and not a stop on a particular, an overlap stop rather than a with marker stop? Yeah, I think a lot of the MegaSim branch is still overlap stops. Slippy slip. It was a little bit silly, baked bean kid. I get how it was missed, but it's still a little bit silly. Never mind. These things happen, unfortunately. Right, we've got the red light up ahead is because there's a changeover, a line changeover, and again this stops the trains blocking it for miles. One stop from Euston, Sammy. Nice. I don't know what the SLA is for the support tickets, Horn Show. I know that Chris likes to get back to them as fast as possible. I don't know, Liam. You'll get more details tomorrow. I've got to be careful what I say, because otherwise people will run away with expectations and all sorts. So, as soon as possible is the answer. Morning, Eddie. Pegasus, I've seen a couple of comments about that in the chat during the stream, so I'll get someone to look at that. Certainly every time I've looked at it, it's been fine. It looks like there's a problem with AI trains, but I did ask someone to look at that one, but the fix didn't make it in for release, so... but I'll see whether or not that's related to what you're seeing. Kilometer now to Radable Ost. Yes, I know. I sort of said because I'm aware of the AI issue. I wasn't aware of the other one. I've not seen it myself. Didn't see it today, but I've seen a couple of people commenting on it. So we'll get someone to look.
Sifa.
Wow, so late now. Oh, was that 143? It is. Bartez, I don't actually have TS 2022 installed on any computers at the moment because I ran out of disk space on both this one and the one at home. Pretty sad state of affairs, but there we are. Well, the thing is, as well as the Steam version of the game, I've also got, and I switched versions on Steam quite a lot, which Steam needs an awful lot of disk space for. I've got the Epic version of the game. I think I've got 2 or 3 dev builds complete. I mean, they're a lot bigger than the game. So, there's a lot on here. My braking isn't great, Trent. To be honest, my concentration isn't really there tonight. I've been doing nothing but fluffing it all night. But I was up until midnight working on this issue with the Creators Club and with the rest of the team. And back in again at 9 o'clock this morning. And I'm a bit tired. Oh, freight train whizzing past us. Still overbroke that one. Oh dear. You know, I feel fine. It's only when you actually start needing to use your concentration, so you realise that, wow, you're not with it. I keep forgetting that these stops are quite quick because it's an S-Bahn, so I'm sitting there going in a doze for a minute and then realise, oh, hang on, it's only a little bit and it's time to go. Oh no, I'll be fine. I'm not nodding off, baked bean kid. I'm just struggling a bit with PCB. I'll be fine driving. Completely fine driving. I have the windows open if necessary. I'm only 5 minutes down the road. It's all good. It's all good. At uni, during a network security module, someone misread NS lookup and did a DDoS attack on the DNS server. Nice!
Sifa.
What time did you actually finish work today? I haven't finished work today. I'm still at work. Like I said, I left work this morning about midnight-ish. But just to be clear, it wasn't just me. Well, I was the only one in the office, but there was probably about half a dozen of us up and down the country looking into the issue and working on it. So. Wow, more freight. 155. That's what I like about this route. There's such variety of traffic, and you just got stuff to look at all the time. See, as a train enthusiast, I like seeing trains. Strangely enough. Did you resolve the problem, Eddie? Yes, signalling, cab signalling are all accurately modelled. Fake and in fact, we have worked with people who know the line and know the system and have driven the system in reality, and they told us that the system worked well as well. They helped us with beta testing and so forth. So I am fairly confident it's pretty darn accurate.
Zugbeeinflussung. Sifa.
What did you think, Baked Bean Kid, of Harlem? I know you're a Lear fan, and Harlem is, well, in my opinion, better than Lear in a lot of ways.
Zugbeeinflussung.
1000 Hertz. got Friday off work, so I can have a nice lay-in tomorrow. And then up to Alexandra Palace for a busy show all weekend, so I'll be shattered by Monday. Do you know if there might be a chance for a high-speed line between Frankfurt and Cologne sometime in the future? I'd love to do that line, actually. It is one we've talked about. It's not on any plans. It's quite a difficult one. It's a long route. And obviously Frankfurt, you know, second only to Munich in terms of complexity. Nathan, in that case, Nathan, if you're there, and anybody else, do come along, say hello. Restricted monitoring, aren't we? Oh, I caught it! Hey! Competence at the end of the journey. Just love all the AI on this route.
Ziva.
Derek, you missed the opportunity for a really good pun there. I'm so disappointed in you. To my core. Oh, we finish up with a bit of the old one. Oh, come on. Come on, give it up. Perfect. All of my messing around and failing miserably brings us to this sort of timed shot. That's what you're looking for.
Ziva.
No, I'm driving 146.2, Eddie. David Mangum, what are you referring to? Right, piece of B. Green light. Dresden Mitte is next. So yes, don't forget, coming up tomorrow, the highlight tomorrow is, as well as one of the great Creo video, is the Luzerne preview with Rivet Game. Jasper from Rivet Games is joining us. And we're going to show off the Rivet's Luzerne Circe for the first time. .407, that's what they call the new ICE 3, isn't it, Trent? Velaro D, I think, isn't it?
Ziva.
There we go. Oh, there goes the ICE. So the brakes off and go. Route merging is something we want to do faster, but it's a complex problem to solve. But it is something we want to try and crack. What time is it here? It is 11 PM. Oh, looks like we've got another freighter coming out. Dresden Freiburger Strasse.
Ziva.
But yeah, route merging is complex. Just literally making the two routes coupled together isn't really the issue. The issue is more related to everything else, basically. Too much brake, not enough speed for that much. I say at this point in time, route merging is not on anybody's plan. It's not being looked at. It's something we want to do, but it's on the list. Route extensions. Well, we did that with the MegaSim branch. I mean, that's taking a route and adding to it. But that's only really practical as a free update. I'm not sure how we would sell a route extension. Fight and talk there, Baked Bean Kid. Fight and talk. But Danny does an amazing job, so I'll let you off. OGX TH. It's on the brake stand where the big automatic brake handle is. It's like a twisty thing. Someone reminds me, I will jump into Sandpatch Grade real quick before we exit the stream and show you.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Nobody's looking at the Long Island signalling at the moment, MTA, because that's it's quite a tricky issue to resolve. It's not the same as the signalling that's been put onto. Not quite the same as the signalling that's running on the Metro North line, so it needs a slightly different solution. The problem with signalling on Long Island, Baked Bean Kid, is it doesn't progress you down from normal to, say, restricting. So you end up going normal, restricting, instead of normal, limited, medium, restricting. Which doesn't give you much opportunity to slow down before all hell breaks loose.
Sifa.
Night, Moggy. The train actually over to the line. Well, in the case of Long Island Speedbird, it's normal, restrictive crash, because you hit the train that's causing the restricted. No, the timetable's not busy enough for that baked bean kid. On my version of the timetable, you hit other trains on a regular basis. Doors. Right, OGXTH. I will just quickly jump over to Sandpatch Grade and show you how you properly set your train up. No, I'm not saying there's no chance, MT. I'm just saying that there's no one looking at it right now. I'm just trying to be really upfront with you. If I say, oh yeah, I give you any kind of a positivity on that, then people run away and think, oh, it's being looked at, and then in a month's time people will say, well, you promised it was being fixed. So I'm just saying no one's looking at it right now. Absolutely want it fixed, but until it's actually on Prezzo Crew's list of things they're looking at, then assume it's not going to. Do you know where any of the new billboards are in SPG? So you'll find them... Actually, we're going on to SPG, I can show you. Explore, let's just... timetable... no, not timetable. Let's do the free roam scenario, which is Cumberland Switchback. Right, okay, so let us jump aboard a train. And then I'll go and real quick use the 8 camera. So I think somewhere out here there's advertising billboards. Don't have an approximate date at the moment, Tripag, other than someone is working on it full time and has been since we started. One of the reasons I'm even less keen to give a date out, because it's already taken a lot longer than we thought it would. So as soon as we have a proper handle on it, I'll let you know. Let's get out of the yard. I think it's just round here. Or maybe not. See, I thought I knew. Clearly, I was wrong. Like I said, there aren't many here. Kind of in with the trees now, so it's not likely to be here, is it? Never mind. Right, okay. One place you will find them is, you know, there's a highway crossing here. There's a big A-frame board. There's one here at Salisbury Junction, that sort of way there. There are some around here somewhere, I think. Right, okay, this is your cut-off down here. So, put your lights on, reverser in and forward. energise that. Gauge lights on. Put that to freight. You can see the brake pipe react. Make sure that's on lead. Release the brakes. Was that an Acela Express? So we haven't got an Acela Express in the game today. Right, so the brakes have now released and we can now move. But if you haven't set that, then what happens is that so if I had really taken that off, you notice how nothing has changed. Yeah, this lever is not connected effectively. Whereas if I pop that over to freight, then it will immediately respond. So this turns this lever on and off essentially. If I now pop it off again, nothing happens. Now that won't stop the train from moving because I can bail off the loco brakes and then I can start moving. But because the brake pipe is down at not at sort of at 90 psi, when you try and couple up to other cars, they'll apply their brakes. You won't be able to move them. And you fix that by just going here and popping that on. The brake pipe has now popped itself up to 90 psi, and now when I couple up something, the brakes will release. Does that help? Nothing helps you though, Baked Bean Kid. You're beyond help. That's fine. I expect that. He gives as good as he gets. Scratch that. He gives a lot better than he gets, but every now and again they get the opportunity to land a good one, so I take it. Oh, I'd love to do the Silt Line. It's really interesting, but I don't want to do the Silt Line until we can do justice to the car loading and unloading. Maybe I imagined it when I was shown where they were. I imagined it. Seems likely. My imagination is pretty good. The new Swiss route stream is tomorrow, William. So they unload car transporter ships in Hamburg. No, it's in Sylt, in Westerland, Baked Bean Kid. Essentially from Westerland across the... there's like a little spit around the corner. Effectively, they can't drive cars across it. So what they do is they run trains with car transporters and coaches backwards and forwards, moving, ferrying people on and off. It's kind of like a roll-on, roll-off ferry, but it's a train. It's really neat. It's done with BR245s these days, usually diesel Trax diesels. It's well worth watching a video. It's quite an interesting line. Clearly I have no idea at all. For those of you that haven't seen the adverts, let me go Bakerloo Line because at least I know where they are. But you'll find one up at Salisbury Junction on the highway. I know that because I've looked there. In fact, let's do that. No, it's a walk. We won't do that. Bakerloo Line. Explore on foot, that one. Paddington will do. It's the same adverts, just placed on different boards. Oh, I'm not getting them for some reason. I'm just getting the defaults. This is where they be. You can see because they've got the borders round them. Anyway, you can skip the tutorial. Yeah, just press escape. Options, main menu. Boom. It won't ask you to do it again. One thing you might want to do, OGX, is go into settings and find auto load journeys and just turn that off, and then it'll never force you into anything. It'll always bring you to the menu. Try that. Alright folks, that's going to be it from me for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Harlem Line stream demo earlier on, and MegaSim's video. Thank you very much to MegaSim. Tomorrow, as we mentioned earlier, we've got the preview for Luzerne. We'll be joined by Jasper from Rivet, so do come along for that. And we've got other creator videos and stuff. It's going to be a good night as always. And then on Sunday we've got the birthday stream, which is just going to be fantastic. I dug up some really cool old videos from 2 years before the game was even announced, let alone released. So we'll be able to have a bit of fun looking at what TS looked like, or TSW looked like, long before it was TSW, before Sandpatch Grade even existed. So, all right, folks, take care. Thanks very much. Bye bye.